force, I know it's hard to remember. All 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall now.
Hello and welcome to Speeding Bullets Repackaged. I am Richie.
Hey everybody, it's Tupper. What's happening? Welcome to Joe. Again, I'm going to continue doing the pause in opening every time because you know what? It fills me with whimsy.
And joy. A whimsical joy.
That's it. That's all you got to say.
A whimsical joy.
A whimsical joy. I thought you said ... enjoy as a way of kind of like moving on from it as fast as possible.
Shut up, Tupper.
Like, okay, this is Tupper. He is a lunatic, and I am Richie, and I am great. Hey, everybody, welcome to Speeding Bullets Repackaged. It is Friday. No, it's Thursday, May 1st.
Yes, it's the 1st of May. And I won't tell you what Jonathan Colton tells you what to do on the 1st of May, because that's not for this podcast.
Okay.
I'll tell you after.
All right. Someone better, because I'm like, who the fuck is Jonathan
People watching know what I'm talking about. I just don't have the soundbite ready, so I don't want to do it.
If you know who Jonathan Colton is and what Richie is talking about, comment down below. Please let us know. Also, like and subscribe this video on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. And click the little bell.
I forgot the bell sound. Damn it.
What do you mean you forgot the bell sound?
When you say
just
bell, I want to
post.
That's true.
Post. Okay, so Richie, I tell Richie to put things in post. I'd say about 50% of the time during any of our podcasts, and about 5% of the time he does actually put something in post. I was listening to the other podcast that we do, and I was at one point I was like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna put in the song.
Fuck, I forgot
that. What was the song? It was It was Cars by Gary Newman.
I totally forgot.
And that was Cars. That was Cars by Gary Newman. Because it sounds so funny because it's just me being like, and Richie's gonna put a sound clip up here, and then it's dead air for 1 second, and there's like, that was Cars by Gary Newman. Thing there, much funnier than it would have been if you'd have put in the clip, but it does make us look like unprofessional assholes. And really, that is the whole goal of this series.
Is to make each other look like unprofessional assholes.
Mission accomplished.
But so, we do have things.
Here we are.
We do have things that make us look like professional assholes, though, and that's this brand new coming soon graphic. I think we need like a little coming soon theme too that we should throw in there.
You do need to absolutely put a little coming soon theme in there. You know, little drums, little bass, a little horn, little French horn.
I'll go find some more free music on the interwebs. That's what it's there for.
We're too poor to pay people.
I pay Tupper for graphics. That's all I pay. And I pay one of his partners for the website. So there we go. It's a family business.
There you go. What's coming up soon, Richie?
All right, the first thing that we got that are now on pre-order as we speak on GameStop, which, if you don't know, and I think this might be out by the time that the sale is still on, there's a McFarlane sale at GameStop that stacks with your GameStop discount, so you end up getting like 25% off with your like... I think it's like 15% off with McFarlane's sale, and then 10% for your GameStop discount. So, anyways,
it's a damn good deal.
The first thing we got up here,
damn good, bloody good, damn good
is
deal.
Some pictures of because before we only had a very blurry picture from a presentation of Cyborg Superman. One of the one of the characters that I am super excited for, because I do need an updated one. I have pre-ordered 2 in the hopes that I also do get the chase. I don't have a good enough image of the chase, and honestly I forgot to put it in. So,
there's no good image of the chase right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's not this for the chase.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
you're seeing, the Cyborg stuff, there's no pictures of that for the chase.
Yeah.
I have said I definitely want to get the chase because I love the Cyborg Superman. And the chase is more from the post Sinestro Corps War, and that's I'm a big fan of that whole thing. But this is beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful figure.
And it's very nicely done. And once we get into the pictures that I took from McFarlane's, like, if you look at the close up of the face here, like, it is really well done. It's like it's as well done as the upcoming Bizarro that is coming. And
now I have to point this out. I have to point this out because it was pointed out to me in my interneting.
Mm-hmm.
So social media scrolling, which is not doom scrolling. I do not doom scroll. But in those pictures of Cyborg Superman, they did make a error and didn't paint the part above the symbol that is robotic. And if you look at the original art for that Dan Jurgens did for this Superman design, it is metal basically from the middle of his chest over, just above the S symbol.
yeah.
And in the production photos, they didn't paint that part silver; it's still blue. So there's actually a tube into. You can see it right there. The tube is going into blue. That should be all silver, and it should be in the middle. So they may or may not fix that for the run of these figures, but it is an error. And also on his leg, there's a part of his leg that's supposed to be painted silver as well, and I think you can see it in that image there. There's a little design, and they didn't paint it silver for the production photos. So will it be painted for the official figure line? It's on shelves. We will have to wait and see, but it is definitely an error that doesn't match the comic stylings that it is based on. And that is the nerdiest thing I will say probably all week across every channel. That was the nerdiest.
That's a good pickup because I didn't even notice that one. So, but I'm just too excited for getting Cyborg Superman.
it was again. I was just scrolling and I saw looking at the pages on Instagram, and someone pointed out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And it stuck in my brain. So I just wanted to share that with everyone else. So now you're an obsessive nerd, just like I am.
That's right.
But to the obsessive nerds that picked up on that, bravo, obsessive nerds! I tip my hats to thee.
All right, next up we have, yes, I pre-ordered 2 of the Cyborg Superman, by the way, in hopes that I can get both versions. Next up we got Jade, another Green Lantern. This is another unique Green Lantern in that originally her powers came from the Starheart, much like Alan Scott, but later on she got powers from a Green Lantern ring, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think now what it is she is a combination of both, if I remember correctly. There's been a lot of stuff going on through different universes and timelines with Jade, so it's hard for me to keep straight sometimes. But yeah, I've pre-ordered her as well because, I mean, I've got Alan Scott, I've got Kyle, I gotta, and it's Green Lantern. I've got to get my Green Lantern stuff. I like the flame effects.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Her face is nice too. This is a nicely designed female figure. It looks really strong. And I think the digital render didn't do it justice, but seeing the actual production photos,
because
it looks really good.
When I first saw it, I was unsure if I wanted it, but as soon as I saw these, it was like, yep, that's going on my pre-order list.
I would definitely be picking that up if I was into all of that stuff. But I collect enough. I have enough stuff.
My lantern shelf's getting crowded. I still haven't added Atrocitus to it because I got to reorganize. Every
shelf you have is crowded.
Yes, I have some ideas to add another shelf that we can figure out when you're here next. Moving
I'm
along,
excited.
that is the DC stuff that we got coming up so far. Next, more Masters of the Universe Thundercats crossovers. We finally have some images of Panthro, some better images anyway, because I believe we did show in another episode some Panthro images. This is just him straight up as Panthro, and then we move along and you see his Eternia gear. I like the Panthro look. I'm not too jazzed on his Eternia look in this case, but because I don't like everything that comes with this figure, I don't think I'm going to pick it up, just because I'm not going to buy a figure that has all these extra accessories just to display him as the original. If I'm going to get a Panthro, I'm going to just get a Panthro.
I mean, I do like the Actane Morningstar ball thing that he's got going on. But I'm with you on this one. The Panthro looks nice, but all that extra stuff is not as good.
Yeah. And I've got about the same opinion on the Tigra stuff. Tigra looks great as Tigra, but him with his Eternia gear just doesn't. His Eternia gear isn't doing it for me in this case.
You know what I'm reminded of with this is the old Total Justice League.
Nah.
From the late 1990s,
yeah,
where you would snap armor onto your Batman and Flash and Green Lantern figures. I had a bunch of those, and I think I still might, and I might pull them out for a future edition of this show, just so you can see. I have a lot of old Batman stuff, so I might pull it out and do like a Batman through the decades sort of journey. But you know, the problem with those Total Justice figures is that there was something lost in the translation, because you have this statue figure and then you have these clip-on editions, and the clip-on editions are pretty cool, but you're always like, I wish they moved. I wish this figure had more articulation. And this is kind of that, but it doesn't. Oh, it's a little cheap looking.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit cheap.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is odd, because like Battle Cat looks really cool, Lion-O looks really cool,
and then
and the
Skellra looks really cool.
Mumrator.
Yeah, Mumrator.
That's what they should have called him. Yeah, those guys look good. These ones are like,
Meh. Yeah. So I do not feel a need to grab those ones. I would probably get a better version of them if it was just normal Panthro and normal Tigra. Next up, we got some stuff something that's right up Tupper's alley, and I think this one's really cool. Alien Romulus, Alien Day was the other day, and Neca had this announcement for Alien Romulus. This one's really cool because it's like something that you can like screw into like a top of a shelf type thing, and I'll show that image in a second, but there's all this really cool ways you can pose it, and they've done a bit of a cool scene in some of the promotional images, and you can see a comparison there of the promotional versus just the thing itself. But then, oh, not that one, that's just another angle. But then you see this is, you know, how you mount it onto something. So you're gonna screw screws into the bottom of something, and then you mount it that way, and I think that's kind of cool. That's a cool figure. I believe I've seen images with the alien not in that thing as well, so I believe you can take it completely out of it if you want.
Very torn on this, because it is a really interesting design idea. I think it looks really dynamic, and okay, so it's just me, but I don't like screwing stuff into my shelf, like my bookcases, and putting screws in my bookcases. So I kind of wish they'd come with, instead of this screw mount sort of system, if they'd have come with this sort of like 3M movable tack that you could stick up and then pull out like they have with some of their wall hooks.
Yeah.
Or some sort of magnet system where you could like put a magnet to put up and then attach it with a magnet and then pull it down with that. So that's I'd say it's a I'm being nitpicky, but I feel like there are other collectors like myself who are not going to want to screw stuff into their shelves, who are like, no, we would have loved a magnet option. And maybe it does come with a magnet option, or maybe someone will make a magnet option to go along with this. Because I think that's the difference of like buy, sell at the NECA price point of like $60 to $70, which is what this would be going for at minimum. Thinking that would be good for somebody to come up with a little like magnet accessory that they could put in the holes, that they could attach to your shelf via, you know, some sort of sticky tapey thing, and then you can pull it up and down at your leisure and it stays up. And that I think is what's separating this from being awesome for me. But I love the design. Also, another nitpicky part of this is that you would have to get a light to put up in the hole, shine down on the figure.
That's true.
Unless it's included. So, like, I think this falls into the category of I'm glad it exists, but it is for a very specific type of collector. It is for the collector that is absolutely going to go out and get a light, absolutely going to get the right proper mount so that it can be attached to a shelf. They're going to create a display.
Yeah, they might make their own diorama out of it, so to speak.
Yeah, it is a really cool. I mean, again, I'm thinking of my shelves, and it would be really cool to have on my shelf with all of my other Alien figures. But it is definitely the kind of thing that it is like you gotta put extra work in it. You gotta go through the whole thing. So it is not for casual collectors. If you're looking at this, you're like, this is awesome, but you're not somebody who will create displays and go through the whole process of making something look nice as a diorama in your display area, then you should stay away from this, because you're just going to get cranky about it. You're going to be, oh, it's not working out the way I want, and then you're going to be a little crybaby about it. So, you know, like, serious collectors only. Yeah, is this setup is for serious collectors only.
Buyers beware.
Well, I mean, you know, I think again, when we get into toy collecting and stuff like that, there is stages. There is like, this is for the casual collector, just the simple. This is for kids. This is for the little bit more involved collector, and then there is the higher price point, higher end collections and collectibles. And a lot of the NECA stuff, honestly, is stuff that I would put into the higher end. They are complicated and complex toys, and they should be displayed by somebody who has invested in them and knows how to display them properly to get the most out of them. They're not for beginners. So that's just my opinion, with a grain of salt.
Lastly, and I don't. Lastly, for new stuff that's coming out, we talked about this a bit previously, but because it is actually available for pre-order now, I just wanted to bring it up really quick. She-Hulk is out there. You see, we've got her in her Fantastic Four gear with her classic hair, the ponytail look, and then she's got a couple different hands and Tupper's favorite accessory, dumbbells.
Because nothing says crime fighter like, here's a couple of 90-pound dumbbells to throw into someone's face. Like, okay, so somebody, maybe me, needs to do a comic strip where someone arrives and they're like, you know, weightlifter is here, and then they land and they make like cracks in the pavement, and then they're carrying like 2 giant dumbbells, and then they just throw them at people.
I think you've got a new character brewing for Captain So-So and Mr. Maybe.
I think I might have to do that for chapter 2, or volume 2. But it's just funny, like the idea of someone coming in with like 90-pound dumbbells and like throwing them at somebody and totally braining someone out of nowhere, and they're like down. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you just like caved that guy's head in. All in a day's work for a weightlifter. Well, there you go. Just created a brand new character. Copyright 2025, Adam Tupper. Don't steal from me, motherfuckers. I will find you and
hunt you down.
Do nothing. I have lawyers. I have lawyers on retainer. I may be poor, but I know people. I got friends in high places.
That's right.
I do love that She-Hulk figure, and I think the ponytail sculpt is that's a great head sculpt.
That ponytail sculpt is probably what's going to go on my shelf when she arrives.
At this point I think it's in my top 10 for head sculpts for 2025. I just love this. I love how it looks. I love it. It's designed properly, and it's peak She-Hulk. It's very She-Hulky. Shulky.
Yep. Which is what I nicknamed the pictures. The picture was Shulky, because I know that stuff.
Shulky.
Update on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow action figure that I still don't have. One of the times I was recently in GameStop this week, they let me know that they finally got an email about it to let everyone know that it's delayed. And she's like, thanks. I know that already.
She's on the lam.
However, they're out there because when I was doing a little jaunt of looking for toys last week, I did see one at a Toys R Us. I didn't pick it up because I have it on pre-order at GameStop, and I love my GameStop, so I'm not gonna screw them that way. But it's out there.
Well, also, it's important to note that it was just one truck of many trucks and many shipments for Supergirl. So it does obviously impact the toy market, but not really. The bigger impact to the toy market these days is the tariffs. And just so we can talk about a serious, real world thing before we get back to the ridiculousness of the toy podcast. The tariffs are very, very hard on the American toy industry in particular, and read reports where there are mid and small range toy companies and toy sellers and toy stores that are probably going to be out of business within the next 30 to 45 days because of the impact of the tariffs. And they're looking at huge markups. They're looking at zero profits, and that sucks. And it's not going to impact us. It's going to impact us differently here in Canada. But I think it might take longer for us to get products in Canada because we usually would get them from the States. It wouldn't be a case where they're coming from overseas directly over here to avoid those kind of tariffs. But it does, I think, mean a little bit of a price increase on the Canadian side for toys moving forward. I haven't seen it hit yet.
Nope.
But it is probably coming in the next couple of days / couple of weeks if you're ordering stuff online. And it's something to keep an eye on. But if you are watching this from the States and you work in the toy industry and you have your toy store and everything, our heart goes out to you guys. Like, it's fitty. Trump, fuck the tariffs. And I hope you're able to get support. I hope that you're able to weather storm, because it just sucks when you're trying to have fun doing this fun toy shit and then some douchebag idiot comes along and slaps pointless tariffs on your products coming in. There's nothing that those guys could do. And it's just it's sad. We feel for you if you're affected by this, and fuck that guy. All I'm gonna say.
But send us a message and we'll buy toys from you, or at least I might.
Richie might buy toys from you, and obviously we're not traveling to the States anytime soon.
That's
so
right.
I can say that stuff on the internet.
That's right.
I'm not going to the States, so I can be like, fuck
you, Trump. All right, we are moving into our review segment. I'll have to make
review. We got a song. We need a song for this.
Yeah, we need a song for that too.
Review segment. I did specifically call it review segment. I didn't just call it reviews because I thought that would be funnier.
Yeah.
It's time for the now review segment.
Oh, where did I'm on the wrong thing. So, we're going to start off. Tupper has a little comparison here. He's got his old, his new Batman 89 compared to, what is that, is that a...
This is This is a 1992, I believe. Just checking the back here. 1990.
1990
is when this is not now. I have them here too in my hands. This is not a official 1989 Batman figure. Okay, I did have one of those with his giant round jaw. I don't think it's in my collection anymore. I think I did sell it for booze money back in the day. But it's possible I do have him in my collection though, because I seem to remember his knees giving out on him and them being not very strong, so he could no longer stand. So I might still have him in my boxes of old action figures. I will check on that at some point, and if I do, I'll bring him out as part of my Batman coverage down the road. But this was when the Batman line was more popular. They kind of went back to the old superpowers from the 80s molds to create new figures. So this was 1990 is when this guy was originally released, and as you can see, he is super styling. He's looking pretty good for a 30. Pardon?
Yeah.
No. 37.
37.
37-year-old.
Oh, 37.
Right. 1990, 2025, 35. He's 35 years old.
That's right.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Take care of my stuff. But I thought it was funny to put him next to
the Keaton Bats.
This is next to the Keaton Bat. So I had this in his hand. This is actually the gun that comes with the old 1989 official Batman. Just stuck it in his hand so he had something to hold.
Yeah.
I hope I have that one, but I really don't think I do. And the next photo is a little comparison between the old Superpowers Batman from 1980s and his 1990s Michael Keaton counterpart. You can see I do have this here. Now, this is not a figure that it was originally mine. I did have this superpowered figure.
It moves
from the 1980s. I did have this on my own. This was a figure that I had, but I played with it so much that it broke. I broke the arms off of him, and to give him up to the garbage bin back in the late 1990s. But this I got from my friend Jesse. He had all of the superpower figures, and he gave me a whole bunch. And
McCormick?
we're going to talk about them at some point in the future. No. Different Jesse.
Okay.
You don't know who he is.
Okay.
Batman. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of old superpower figures that I got. But yeah, I thought it was fun to kind of show two of them side by side. And the photo is. Did you put the photo up?
Yeah, I'll put it back up.
Look at them standing there, looking at one another,
Staring each other down.
They're similar chest molds. They're identical arm molds, and they're identical leg molds in the thighs. Except, of course, Superpowers Batman has a joint in the leg, whereas this guy does not. But yeah, so that's a little fun look back. Kenner Superpowers line, and I'm pretty sure this is Kenner as well for the 1990 release of Batman. Kenner Toys. So pretty cool little journey back in time.
Nice. You got a new figure recently too, and I believe it arrived after one of our latest recordings as well, much like your figures generally arrive, because you got a new Jinx figure.
I know. I did. So we're gonna post some figures, pictures of Jinx. Now, this was a big disappointment, if I'm going to be honest. But let's go through the whole thing. Let's go through what I liked and what I don't like. So the sculpt on this figure is very nice. She's got a very nice face. The tattoo on her arm is phenomenal. The overall look here is very well executed. I think this is a nice update to the Jinx figure. This is G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe Classified line, and Jinx was a great toy in the 80s. It's always great to have ninja figures, and I think that they've done an excellent job updating her for the G.I. Joe Classified line. I like her accessories. I like the sword. I like the mask that goes over her face that you could put over her eyes if you want, or you can put it as a bandana. I really, really like that feature. I love the fact that it comes with the additional fully masked head, as the figure did back in the 80s. And I love the sword. I love the bow staff with the spikes on it. I'm sure there's an actual name for that, but I'm not that well crafted in ninja lore.
Jeez.
Those parts are... what am I going to do? I already know so much. I can't add knowing what every single sword and weapon in ninja culture is. That's a bridge too far. I almost said that's a fridge too far, as though I was hungry. I guess I need to eat lunch at some point. That's where the positives end. Unfortunately, Jinx suffers from, I guess, female figure syndrome, where just not properly articulated. And I'm not sure if this was a production issue or if this was just an issue with the figure overall. But there's no bend in her waist. She has very little waver between like front and back. So she can't really lean forward and she can't really lean back. Not to mention the head is a very simple ball joint with very simple movement. So she can't really look up or look down or bend her head from side to side. Now you can mod these figures when they do this, but I am a classic believer that it is what it is when it comes out of the package, and we have to judge it for that. Like going in and using a razor to modify my figures.
I would be too afraid of causing too much harm and just completely breaking the figure and making it useless. So,
I mean, there is plenty of tutorials, especially here on the YouTubes, that you can go and look at for modifying figures like Jinx, who are just something missing when they were putting in the articulation in for the figure. And look, that's fine. And honestly, this one is, if I'm getting to the point where I find I should maybe look into it because it's useless, I might do that. But we're a ways away from that. But I have to judge the figure based on how it looks and how it feels coming out of the package. And to be brutally honest, that lack of ratcheted up and down waist movement and that lack of head movement up and down is really disappointing, especially when you consider the other figures in the G.I. Joe Classified line and the other female figures like Scarlet in the G.I. Joe Classified line. There's four of us.
Yeah, I just realized I'm fixing something for later because I realized I didn't put the end card on the thing, so I'm trying to do it stealthily while we still do stuff.
I'm always paying attention, Richie. Always paying attention. Again, just to reiterate, we're always talking about how the sauce is made, how the meatballs are made on our podcasts, because we believe in opening the door.
Transparency.
Through the door. That's transparency. So as far as Jinx goes, I really did want to like this figure. I think the look is perfect, but unfortunately articulation in the waist and in the head really hold it back, and that is very disappointing. So I mean, that from the look is a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me. The accessories are about at I'd say an 8, because she does come with some interesting accessories. She does come with a set of fists as well, 2 heads. That's always going to get a mark. And that bandage that she could put over her eyes or over her head, I think is very, very smart. Yeah. That elevates it to about an 8, but the articulation is a total 5. I mean, this is 2025 at this point. We should be far beyond this kind of lackluster bends. And I mean, it's a ninja figure. You're going to want to pose her in ninja poses. And you saw the photos that I posted. I got some pretty good stuff out of her, but it's not where I would like it to be.
Ninjas are really flexible. So.
Yeah. There's also a little bit of an issue with, she has a little bend, a little curve in her feet and it does mean that posing her without a stand is very difficult if you want to get her to stay in that pose. So go out there and get yourself some superhero DIY feet holders, stands. Richie talked about this in the previous episode. We're going to give it another shout out in the comments below.
Yeah.
These are great.
Yeah.
I really do love the superhero DIY stands. They really do a great job with all types of figures, unless they're super large figures.
They're
But
very
for 6
versatile.
inches, for 7 inches, really, really great. They're really solid. So again, just a little nice shout out to superhero DIY in the comments. Good job, everybody. But as far as Jinx goes, Jinx is going to get a 7 out of 10. This could have been a really, really great figure. The articulation holds it back. It does on the shelf, and G.I. Joe completionist, you have to get this one. And if you're a Ninja G.I. Joe completionist, you have to get this one. Just beware. If you right now, it's on Amazon, I think, for $27 Canadian, which means it's even cheaper in the States. Pick it up at that price. That's a great price. Get it. But do not spend more than $30 on this figure. I got it for $31, and I feel a little shafted, because I could have gotten it for $27 because it's on sale now. I'm a little pissed. I'm pissed, man. But yes, it's at the price it's at now. You can buy it on Amazon. It is worth that $27. Buyer beware. Buyer beware.
I got some new figures as well. We need to like a Richie got new figures theme too, because I get them a lot. So
I can make a graphic.
That's true.
I can make a graphic like. Richie got the figures. Richie got the figures.
To take advantage of the McFarlane sale that's going on right now with GameStop, I took a jaunt out to some of the ones that I don't normally go to, and I found myself a nice looking classic Beast Boy. I really like. I mean, the figure's really simple, but it's really good. They got the green in the face really good. It really pops out. The costume is it's not hard to do the costume, and he also comes with a little eagle that he morphs into. I was trying to find some way to balance it on his arm, but I couldn't.
Well,
so
he doesn't balance. He can't hold. I mean, of course, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why would
he hold himself?
Is he holding himself?
Yeah. So
at what line is the figure masturbating?
Yeah. But it's
what are you doing, Beast Boy? Playing with myself.
It's a great little Beast Boy figure. And
now, what did you pick this up for? What was your price point? What'd you get it?
It came to, I think, $18 and something cents, which was less than the lowest ticket price on the price, because there's the normal GameStop price and then the Edge pricing if you're an Edge member, and I got it at lower because it's, again, the discount stacks, so you can take advantage of that and get yourself some older figures if you see them or out in the wild. And
that's a good pickup. That's a real good pickup, buddy. Love that.
Speaking of out in the wilds, I had messaged Tupper because when I picked up my Dr. Fate originally, because my GameStop is awesome, they're probably going to send me another one now that you've bought this one, because it's the old one we got. And I happened to be in when they were opening their receiving again, of course, because I know about the time it arrives. And she's like, oh, let me open it up. And no, it was just another normal Dr. Fate. So the Sunrise at Plast Orleans didn't have it. So then I texted Tupper because I found a place that I could get it for $49.99 plus shipping. That was selling specifically the Chase Dr. Fate. But Tupper's like, wait to see if you can find Into the Wild. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to call the GameStop and Sunrise at Rito Center, because I don't want to go there if I don't have to. GameStop didn't have it. True. And then called the Sunrise. He's like, yeah, I got both versions of it. I'm like, I want the gold one, please. Would you be able to hold it for me? He's like, yeah, I can hold a couple days for you. I'm like, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. And I went there and I picked it up, and I'll show it to you here because it is really sharp looking. It is the better figure.
Yeah,
I do like both of them because I do like both versions of Dr. Fate, but this is definitely the better figure. The cape is amazing. I tried to pose him a little dynamically there with his cape out and his arms out. But it's a really good figure, and I'm really happy with the pickup. I can show you for comparison both of the Dr. Fates side by side because they're right on my shelf right there. But it's
just to me it's such a night and day, and I mean that's also visually I think very accurate, but like the darker version is really
sharp looking,
dynamic. Like that's a really nice job that they did. And I mean I think it also goes to show you that there's a reason that they make chase figures, and there's a reason that they do repaints, because you should take chances with these kind of things, because there's absolutely figures out there. And I mean, the gold and black Nightfall Batman is a great example of that. Richie got me the blue version, and the blue version is nice. The blue and yellow is nice. We're not debating that at any stretch. It is nice. A black and gold version is beautiful. That's also beautiful, and both of those will look good on your shelf. And I think Richie's also proving just here that both of those are really nice. You have your classic, but you also have your more modern version. But that modern version is beautiful. That's a beautiful figure. And repaints can be useful. Yeah. And we're definitely not anti repaints and reissues on this podcast. I think it really does depend on the purpose. I think it depends on the look.
And it also depends on what the collector's looking for, too.
Yeah, what's your personal proclivity when it comes to these things? But we're never going to be like, oh, another repaint. Because honestly, there have been 10 iterations of figures that I've seen, through, particularly McFarlane, and half of them are nice. And they put out a new repaint on, like, say, the Grim Knight. And it's like, this is a nice looking figure. Yeah, this figure was out years ago, but here's a nice repaint of it. And I think we're always going to be, let's wait and see what the design looks like. Let's wait and see. Yeah, I'm pro repaint, and this is one of those instances where a simple repaint is
because
beautiful.
I've done it. And I like chases. I've got 2 Power Girls. I've got the 2 Dr. Fates. I'm trying to get 2 Cyborg Supermans when that comes out. So when they make things that are up my alley, like I'll go out and I'll buy them. So
Richie does love putting things up his alley.
That's right. Now,
what was your price point on that Dr. Fate?
The Dr. Fates, it was a bit more expensive because I got it at Sunrise. Because I think it was at GameStop. The Dr. Fate it's either 29 or 32. I can't remember because sometimes they price the McFarlane digital stuff a bit different. But at Sunrise, it was $39.99. So a bit more pricey, but for me as a chase figure, it was worth it.
But you were going to spend $49.99 plus shipping, and I talked you out of it.
That's true.
I saved you $20.
Exactly.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
Now,
always listen to me. I'm good at this.
The last thing I got for you is because I go to GameStop fairly frequently, and of course I was there before I did this podcast because I stopped there in between my occupational therapy and coming home. I picked up a figure that I've been eyeing for a little while, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab it because it's because of the McFarlane sale, and I guess the lowest price on this was $26.99. I got it for $20 and something change. I picked myself up a Max Mercury for my Flash family.
Oh my God, Max Mercury. So how many Flash figures do you have now?
Let's see. I've got the blue Wally, the Dr. Manhattan Wally. I've got the Rebirth Wally West. I've got the Task Force Barry, and now I've got Max Mercury to add to that.
Hey, all right. Before you start pulling it out of the package, move it away from the microphone, because the last time we were taking stuff out, it was just like crinkle, 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 and I'm like, that's probably not something that people need to hear.
Yeah. So
this is on their screens. They're already got to put up with our ugly mugs. They don't need to hear the.
But now we got to see these stupid unboxings. But yeah, so there are other Flash figures that I am on the hunt for. I did see a Dark Flash out in the wild, but I'm not going to pick it up because it's not, you know, it's an alternate Flash that I'm not super interested in. And he was really around for like 5 minutes, literally. I'm just gonna
once there you go. Yes, away from the microphone. I told him to make it away from the microphone, and then he just forgets. He just puts it right back in his lap, where all the sound can be picked up.
Sorry,
This is why.
I'm trying to cut the thingies
too. The little dealies, that prevent the figure from moving around in the packaging. And honestly,
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I think they do more harm than good sometimes. These fucking things that hold it in, because I think that's why some of the figures come broken sometimes, is because of these things, because it restricts the movement and then causes it to break. Because I don't know, every other action figure I've bought lately, except for McFarlane, doesn't have to do these fucking things. You know how many of these fucking tab things I've been picking up lately around my office too?
I guarantee that no one heard that whole speech because he's still messing with plastic and it's making all the noise.
There we go.
Oh, wait,
Max is out. So
one more thing about the holders, Richie, too, is that sometimes you do end up scraping the paint on the figure when you're taking them out, depending on what you're using. So that is another downside to those little plastic dealies that keep them in place. I'm 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. They probably do protect the figure more than we think, but also they are annoying to take out, and you do find them everywhere years later. So.
Yeah, Max Mercury, specifically a very good mentor to Bart Allen, Impulse, when he came to the future. They had a very significant father-son type relationship, and
Caller is a statement caller. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a statement caller right there.
But
and the statement is, I can't get a cape because I'm a fast guy.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Now he's got some arm and leg lightning effects to go along with it. Speaking of, like I said, he was a mentor to Impulse. Impulse is another Flash character that I would definitely love to find and pick up. But when I was picking this up, I was talking to my favorite GameStop folks, and they are going to try and find an arsenal for me, because apparently there's a GameStop in Waterloo that has one. So they're going to double check, and if they can get it, they are going to get it sent over for me.
I love, again, building these kind of relationships with toy stores and retailers, because when you do that, like, they will go out of their way. Is Richie gonna? Yeah, thanks. Is Richie gonna drive to Waterloo to get an Arsenal figure? No. Would anybody go to Waterloo for any reason? Visiting family that may be from there? Of course not. Waterloo is frightening.
Yeah.
Shout out to our Waterloo fans. I'm just joking around with you, Waterloo. You're certainly a place that exists. And but yeah, this is great. You can like call up the store. They can call up their store in Waterloo, and they can get it shipped to you if they have it. That's just a really nice.
Yeah. And you know
activity.
What? It doesn't take much to cultivate a relationship with your stores. You just got to be nice and treat them like human beings.
Just be nice.
You know what? They
give them money. Yeah. That helps.
They bend over backwards for me because I'm so nice. Like, I brought them chocolates from Laura Secords for Christmas. I'm like, you guys are awesome. Here's some chocolates for Christmas. And you know, like, I like to give credit to people when they do a good job.
And also, let's be honest. Retail, it's never been harder to be in retail. Mm-hmm. Stores across all channels are closing all the time these days. So, like, if you do have a retail location, whether it's toys or whether it's shoes or whether it's condoms. I don't know.
Whatever your poison is.
Whatever your poison is, if you really enjoy chewing on a condom, you don't like gum and you use condoms because of the texture, that's your business. But be nice to those people that sell you your products, because it is hard to be in retail these days. And I just think it's just nice to be nice. Mm-hmm. Just be nice because it's nice.
Yeah, and you know what? They didn't have to, but they tried to get in another Dr. Fate for me, And so when I found my own Dr. Fate, I called them up. I'm like, I found a Chase. They're like, thanks for letting me know. I'll stop looking. I'm like, perfect. So.
Yeah. There you go. Is there anything else we have on tap for this episode, or is that it?
I think that is everything for this time around. So it's funny because after we finish an episode, I'm like, there'll be like 3 or 4 days before we record. I'm like, there's nothing new that I've seen, and then bam, there'll be a bunch of new stuff. So toys are always coming out.
Well, again, we also don't want to do 2-hour episodes. We think like an hour is just enough. It's just enough time for you to be like, all right, I'm sick of those two.
Exactly.
Boom, there you go.
There is going to be a Hasbro Pulse stream on May the 2nd, which is tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
That is going to be revolving around, of course, the Star Wars May the 4th that is coming up. So next episode, we will likely be talking about those things.
Yeah, and I think I might do the very first of my top favorite lists starting next week. Ooh. So I got to think about what that is. I think next week I'm going to do a top 5 of something.
Top 5 of something? Okay. Coming soon.
A top 5 of something. I don't know what it is yet, but a top 5 of something. So to be continued. Next week, we'll find out what the top 5 is. Maybe I'll even make a graphic for it.
Woo! All right. Have a good week, folks. See you next time.
1984, I know it's hard to remember. All 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall now.
Record so I don't forget to have done
I know,
that.
we missed all that great amping that I just did because you weren't recording.
Because I had to restart the fucking program, stupid. I can't record it when it's closed.
You know what, Richie? You got to do whatever you got to do. Okay? You want to take a walk down to the shop? You want to get yourself some ice cream? You go ahead and do that. You want to take a walk down to the shop? You want to get yourself a cola? You do that. You want to take a walk down to the shop? You want to shoot a shopkeeper in the face? You do that. Well, listen. Don't tell me about the shooting at a shopkeeper, because I don't need to know about that. Gotta do whatever you gotta do. And that is from my one-act play. You gotta do what you gotta do. I wrote and directed myself. Is gonna be submitted to Slam Dance, which I don't think is a thing anymore. It might be, but it might be. I don't know.
I have a thing that... Okay, that's where I put the thing. Okay. Now you can talk, dummy.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I know, I could have edited it, but it was just fun anyway to do it.
Well, there you go. That's our professionalism show.
That's right.
Peace out, homies.
1984, I know it's hard to remember. All 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall now.
We're gonna redo that. We're gonna redo that thing because I had to resize it. So, 1 second.
What do you mean?
It wasn't fully on the screen.
1984, I know it's hard to remember. All 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all.
Where's the theme song?
Theme song's on. Hold on. Let me try that again. All right. Shit up. I just want to...